What's good, everyone? Hope all is well. Buckeye Scoop, Buckeye Nation. Hope all is well. How are you? Happy Tuesday. We got some stuff to talk about today. Do me a favor, hit that like button if you have not already. If you have not subscribed, please consider subscribing. For you folks who don't always do YouTube, Apple people, save us on Apple Podcast. Non-Apple people, Spreaker.com. Hit us up there. Save us there. Listen, we're going to be talking about answering one of the big questions for 2026. Also, we got some gold pants ceremony to talk about. Big smiles on the faces of the coaches and players. We'll talk about that amongst other stuff. In the meantime, remember when you send those wonderful super chats, helps to go towards the Pay It Forward, which is our military and our first responders. We're going to look out for them because they always look out for us. Got Dev from the Buckeye Boys in the house. Nevada is traveling as he often does. Dev, what's up, brother? How you feeling?
Oh, pretty good. Excited. Got to hear from Arthur and some of the players today. I mean, in those interviews, sometimes you get some information. Got a little bit of tidbits today. Arthur Smith, you can tell he's been in the NFL for a while. He does not let much out of the bag. Some of the players did, but overall, that's kind of what's going on. Been a long week. Just woke up for a little bit of a nap on accident. So it's one of those things where my brain's going to start firing more and more the longer the show goes on. So I'm ready to dive into this thing, man.
Yeah, for sure. And you know what? Let's dive into Arthur Smith because, me and Dev, we're the press conference boys. We listen to all these press conferences and stuff like that. Some, like you said, some coaches give you more, some coaches give you less, players, you whatever. This is my first time hearing Arthur Smith as a Buckeye coach. So it's a 30-second clip. So this is just an idea. Because listen, you want to get to know these coaches, their personality, whatever. So this might have been the most interesting clip because like Dev said, he's not really giving much. But here's a little bit of Arthur Smith. Let me go ahead and mute this. Okay, boom.
Made sense. Looked really good.
Here we go.
Several factors. First, most importantly, was the respect I have for Coach Day. He reached out, we had a good conversation, and came down here and spent some time with him. Just kind of weighed my options, and I'd had such a good experience with some of the players that have come through here that I've gotten the privilege to coach. So I was intrigued. I weighed my options and talked to a lot of people, including Mike Vrabel, who's a great Buckeye, who's a great friend of mine. It just made sense.
Yeah, so he mentioned Vrabel, and I wanted to play that clip for this reason because Dev, we talked about, obviously like you holler at Vrabel about this job. And so, he kept saying he had options, which he did. I know some people try to make it seem like, oh, well, he had nowhere to turn. So he had options. But with that said, I mean, he basically, other than Vrabel, he said he talked to several other people. He thought about it. He thought about, his respect for Ryan Day, his talk with Ryan Day. So basically, we're getting the flip side of what Ryan Day said. Ryan Day was basically saying, hey, they clicked, they hit it off. Ryan Day's a strong passing guy. He can bring a strong running game and form Voltron. So what was your thoughts on Arthur Smith overall, Dev, and his reasoning on why he came to Ohio State?
Well, on that note, right, the Mike Vrabel note there, we always talk about how college football is changing and how important it is to have relationships. And I think the generational players and the legacy and the brotherhood at Ohio State, right, you start to see how impactful all that stuff actually is. Like, look, in this case, Arthur Smith had the ability to go talk to Mike Vrabel, and Ohio State has those players littered all over the country, right? So in the transfer portal, you can use those past players. Maybe they're coaching somewhere else, or in this situation, to go find an offensive coordinator in the NFL. There's Buckeye football players coaching the NFL, playing in the NFL, coaching high school, coaching in other colleges all over the place. So that goes to show you, right, the hard work and dedication set well before Ryan Day this Block O, this Buckeye name, what it actually does for this program. And I think there's times when even I myself kind of take that for granted and don't really realize how much that means. But the Arthur Smith thing, I'll start off with this. I was very upset with the questions that were chosen to be asked to Arthur Smith. I was very confused with some of the questions. First time we get to hear from him, probably one of the only times we'll hear from Arthur Smith. And I was like, dude, we can't ask this guy, is he going to be in the sideline? He's going to be in the box. Can we not ask him some better questions? But that's neither here nor there. We're not talking about that. He did bring up some of the good questions that were asked were, kind of talking about Julian saying, and he did hint at kind of something I think we're going to go over in a little bit, the fact that he's going to give him some more control. And, one of the things I had hit on early is about how, Arthur had spoken with Julian saying already way early, right when he got here, and how impressed he was in that conversation. He brought that up again, how impressed he is with Julian saying, how smart he is. And he gave a list of quarterbacks that he's coached throughout his career. So to speak about Julian saying and kind of that regard shows you how impressed he is with him. Something else I found interesting is I keep giving little nuggets about Jacoby Jackson. And one of the conversations I had was that Arthur Smith is impressed with Jacoby Jackson. And yes, I understand this is me reading into this, but when he got asked about the running back room, the first name that Arthur brought up was Jacoby Jackson. He did bring up Turbo Rogers and Legend Bay as well. But he brought up Jacoby Jackson, and I think that speaks a little bit to what Jacoby's doing in there. So that was exciting to see. But he's, some of the questions that were asked were not the best. And you can just tell the dude's a hard worker, man. I mean, he talked about, I think we dropped this nugget too, that before the dude ever stepped foot on campus, he already watched all the film. Arthur Smith confirmed that in his interview as well. So very hard worker. But again, he's real good at answering the questions and, darting, not really giving up much. So those are kind of the key takeaways that I got from him. But just the way that he talks and carries himself. He talked about all the experience he had. That's just exciting, man, to have two NFL guys, Matt Patricia and Arthur Smith. And it seems like he's already on it with getting to know these players and realizing their potential. So I'm excited, man. It's going to be an exciting season to watch Arthur and everything he brings to the table.
For sure. And I was going to say, you took the words out of my mouth. He confirmed what you heard on Scoop, or for you people who follow Scoop, not just the podcast, but even the podcast. Dev has mentioned this with his information helping Tech, just about Julian saying getting more ability at the line to, audible. Like I said, Dev had really good intel on a discussion he had with Julian where they just kind of a meeting of the minds. He was impressed initially, all that stuff. So all of this stuff has been bubbling behind the scenes. And we've been able to provide you with that information. Now he's publicly, kind of confirming some of those things that have been going on. So, Julian saying having more control at the line of scrimmage is going to be great. And it should be. It's his second year. The O-line interviews, they confirmed it. I can't remember if it was Hinsman. It was Luke Montgomery. Luke Montgomery confirmed about that as well. But we want to get back to some interview stuff. But before we do, since we're on Arthur Smith, let's talk about the nugget on the Scoop board, answer one of the big questions for 2026. And it's basically the question is, will Ohio State go faster this upcoming season? Last year, the theme was, hey, slow it down, save possessions, save reps and all that, which sounded good. And there were other people who applauded that because logically that makes sense. Okay. You're going to be fresher during this playoff run or whatever. But obviously that was negated by, losing to Miami and not executing and whatnot. So now, basically, it's like, hey, all right, now we're going to, I don't want to say completely go to the opposite end of the spectrum, but we know it's basically been clarified or confirmed that we're trying to go fast. And, and then the words explosive versatility, the phrase explosive versatility is being used. Big play hunting, running more plays, and attacking more. So, and a part of that is giving Julian Sand the ability at the line of scrimmage to check at the line, make decisions, boom, boom, boom. When you don't have to turn and look to the sideline as much, when you have control to be able to make pre-snap decisions, then you're able to go faster. And so that's important. That goes hand in hand with that concept. And so it looks like we're going to pivot from last year's, hey, and a part of that, Dev, also, a part of that was not just we just want to be conservative, but to be conservative. Ryan Day knew he was breaking in a first year starting quarterback and Julian Sand, right? We knew that.
Yep.
We saw what we did against Texas. Like he was, hey, like just don't be careful. But even the throws he made in that game where he had a couple drop passes, Jeremiah Smith was being goofy, Claire dropped, you know what I mean? So we have a brand new Julian Sand coming off of 2 losses where he didn't play terrible, but he didn't play his best. He learned a lot. You got Arthur Smith. So I'm excited about this update. We have the personnel to do this. We have the OC to do this. So, Dev, what's your thoughts on that helping tech nugget and everything kind of coming together as we've been getting information? It's all coming to a head.
Yeah, it is. I mean, one of the other pieces of information to throw in with that is something we let you guys know early too, is that the Buckeyes were looking to add speed to this roster in the transfer portal and in the freshman class. They added Legend Bay, Devin McQuinn, Kyle Parker, right? So, and then now you get this nugget of, hey, they're looking for, right, they're going big play hunting. That was something else used in this nugget, man.
Yeah.
And that's exciting. In 2024, we ran 61.8 plays per game. Last year, we ran 60 plays per game, but we're 73rd in rushing. So that's an aspect of it that kind of really, let us down. But something I always forget, something you brought up, is it was Julian Sand's first year. And I think if you've watched Ryan Day for long enough, he's kind of protective of his quarterbacks. He kind of, holds them back. That's just the way he chooses to develop them. But he does a very good job at developing them. In the Texas game, it was very obvious. They weren't letting Julian Sand do much.
Right.
They did not turn him loose that much. If you go watch the Texas game and you go watch the Wisconsin game, those are 2 different Julian Sands. That was one who had a lot of constrictions on him and one that had a lot more freedom on them. They're very different. This year, it's looking more towards that. And when you bring up that, when you think about, okay, so Arthur Smith's style's more of the slow style. So everybody has kind of assumed, including me, that that's kind of what we're looking at here. But when you also realize that you're dealing with a veteran offensive line and a second-year quarterback who was in the Heisman, and also on the defensive side of the ball, Matt Patricia wanting to get more aggressive because you always want the defensive side of the ball to match the offensive side of the ball. Those things all point towards a little bit faster of an offense, okay? And then a lot of people get worried about, hey, all these tight end sets and, are we just going to be running the ball a lot with our tight end, and those tight end sets? And, even Brandon Ennis today gave a little bit of a nugget that, dude, they are still passing the ball like crazy in spring ball as of right now. They're still putting a lot of those installs in where there's a lot of passing going on. So I think just through letting these players be who these players are, the offense is going to speed up, right? If you don't add into Arthur Smith's plan, if you just go with the players you're dealing with, again, a second-year starting quarterback in Julian Sand, who is a very fast processor. So that's going to speed the offense up a little bit. And then the offensive line, right? So it's going to be a lot better, I think. And then you also add in all the experience of Arthur Smith. What I love, what I'm excited to see in this thing is what I wish we saw a little bit more of last year is the play action that Arthur Smith loves. And this was in the nugget too, that these play actions are going to be a part of this. When you got this wide zone, if you think about this, with these running backs that we have and with this veteran offensive line, if they get this wide zone stuff down, that's going to cause the defense to have to go to heavier boxes, scoot the safeties up.
Yeah.
Can you? I mean, and J.J. Smith on some play actions, or Devin McQuinn, or Chris Henry Jr. or some of these guys. That's going to open some things up as well. But I think the biggest one would be Julian saying and giving him a little bit more control. Because how many times last year, guys, did we see a play, especially in the red zone, where JJ was one-on-one, no safety over the top to help on his side, and we ran the ball up the middle with CJ? He ran back in the back of the center and fell down short of the line. But anyway, uh, how many times were we like, dude, man, I wish Julian Sane could check out of that, and lob that bad boy up. You know what I mean? So I think we're going to see that, man. And I think a lot of the tempo this offense is going to rely on Julian Sane and this offensive line. So it's going to be, I love the update. And it's exciting with these players that we have, with the experience they have come back on the offensive side of the ball. It should all come together beautifully.
For sure. Yeah, you're right, man. Having Sane to be able to look over and check, boom. I mean, like, that's come on now. We can do that on the video game, like you know what I'm saying. When we see what they're doing, and so yeah, that it's just again second-year quarterback who learned a lot. He was already really good last year, and so man, for the people who are doubting him and writing him off, it's like, man, y'all gonna be right back on the train very, very soon, because he's going to get better. Now, you mentioned the offensive line. All right. This is Luke Montgomery. I'm going to play y'all a little clip of this. He really sings the praises of Ian Moore on this clip. And I want y'all to hear this, because I wasn't surprised, but I wasn't expecting him to say what he says about Ian Moore, because we're high on Ian Moore. Me, Dev, we've been high on Ian Moore since the Miami game. We kept telling y'all, when I rewatched the game, he did a really good job when he came in the game. And so here is the interview. Here we go.
We all think like he'll be a first rounder. He's a dude. He's the God-gifted talent that he's got. Very explosive. Good length of arms and uses his hands super fast feet, super explosive. Like I said, sky's the limit for him. We all think like he'll be a first rounder by the time he's done here. And like I said, like as a young guy like him to step in, like it clicks when it clicks. It's kind of like my scenario. Like sometimes like it doesn't go your way. You don't really understand why, but like sometimes it clicks when it clicks. And I think it started to click with him in the playoffs.
All right. So the part that I said I was not expecting is for him to say they expect him to be a first rounder. Now, as high as I've been on Ian Moore, I ain't even say that. You know what I'm saying? I was just thinking, oh, he's going to be solid for us. He's going to be really, really good. But, I mean, that's high praise. Now, also, the Luke Montgomery interview was pretty entertaining. He's an entertaining dude for a lineman. He'll give you some stuff. But he mentioned how they're pissed off. Like the Nugget mentioned, they're veteran. Arthur Smith called them veteran. He kept saying, no excuses. We're veteran. And so, again, for those who are just acting like this O-line is just going to be what they were against Miami last year, come on, man. You're dealing with competitive young men who have the fire and passion to want to do better than what they did in their last outing. He said they were pissed. He blamed lack of technique on some of the breakdowns for the O-line and all that, because he kept being asked about Miami. You best believe, well, Arthur Smith being an O-line guy, obviously Bowen wanting to make sure that he takes it to another level. These guys coming back another year, their last ride, this O-line is going to be better. They said they want to be the Joe Moore. I always get confused, Dev. Is it Moorhead or Moore? Is it Joe Moore Award or Joe Moorhead Award? Joe Moore Award. I always get that. Yeah. So anyway, that's their goal. But what else was I going to say about the O-line? Yeah, I mean, I guess that's basically it. It's just he was saying they're pissed off and they're looking to bounce back from how the end of the season ended. And I wouldn't bet against them. I would not bet against them. And so I'm very excited about the O-line. We'll get to the one thing he said Unless you want to get to it about the team up north, and we'll kind of transition from there if you want, Dev.
Now, I'll let you get to that, but I will say, I'm
Okay,
going to kind of
cool.
are we going to hit on Carson, or do we want to just lump these two offensive linemen together? I was going to talk about the Matty P stuff a little bit, but first on Luke.
Oh no, go ahead. Get on Carson.
First off, the dude looks bigger. Okay, and he said he lost some baby fat, but weighs more. So he put some meat on his bone, man. And one of the interesting thing, guys, that he said, right, is he got very real about the Miami game, and this just clicked in my head. I remember him saying it. Is he talked about how they really bit themselves in the foot, like fundamentally. Like he said, man, if we'd have just done the simple things correct, we would have looked a lot better. So as bad as it looked, I don't think it was that bad. Like that's what that made me feel. And it made me feel like those issues can be corrected easily, especially with the veteran offensive line. So that's what I wanted to say there. But this Ian Moore stuff, B, I got some information today. I've been digging about something because, right, to me, Ian Moore is part of the best five, right? But what that does is that makes you have to shuffle around either Philip Daniels or Austin Sareveld, right? They're both of our tackles. Well, Ryan Day came out in his first press conference and said Philip and Austin are tackles. So that kind of got everybody scrambling around like, yo, dude, who's going to play? You know what I mean? Is Ian Moore going to drop in the guard, which he is repping at guard? So I've been kind of digging like, dude, is Philip Daniels really only repping at tackle? Is Austin really only repping at tackle? And I got told today, no. Philip Daniels is repping at guard as well. And they're all over the place this spring. So
that makes more sense.
Don't wade too much into the that Ryan Day press conference. Everybody is. And I do expect Ian Moore to be in this lineup this year. I'm not sure how that looks, but man, that's just what my money's on. My money's on him getting in this lineup. B, the main thing I wanted to talk about with Carson and Luke, they both brought up is on the defensive side of the ball, talking about the defensive side of the ball. So if you want me to get into that, I will. If you want me to hold off, I will. You let me know.
Yeah. No, go ahead. But immediately after that, I see a comment in the chat that I want to bring to the stage, and I want to talk about it as we close out about the O-line stuff, because I feel like that comment, it's important to react to that comment. So yeah, go ahead and jump on the defensive stuff.
Bring that comment up. We'll talk about. I'll bring that defensive stuff up afterwards. Yeah.
Okay. So here's the comment. Here's the comment from Mega MC, and my eyebrows raised a little bit when I saw this comment. Like, huh?
Yeah.
I won't get excited about the O-line unless there's some big personnel changes. So listen, this is me seriously asking the question. What do you mean? I guess, can you clarify? Because Tegra Shabola's gone, right? So that spot needs to be taken. We got a bunch of linemen coming back that are veteran. They were talking about Ian Moore being a first rounder. Sareveld was not bad last year. He was pretty solid. Philip Daniels was not perfect down the stretch. He needs to get better. It was his first year starting at Ohio State. Obviously Hensman and Montgomery are national champions, but they can still get better and will. So what big personnel changes are you talking about? I guess I'm wondering, the portal's closed. So are you saying one of the younger guys like, Jake, I forget he's from Westerville. Like who's your starting five? Like, who define big personnel changes? I guess that I was just confused by the comment, Mega. And so, Dev, what's your response? And I'm hoping you respond, because I genuinely want to know what you mean by that, Dev.
Yeah, I'm on the opposite end of the field there. I think we have more than enough. And I've been told behind the scenes as well as the coaches publicly, this is the deepest the offensive line room has been in years at Ohio State. It's when you look at the Indiana game and when you look at the Miami game, let me ask you this. If we make our field goals in the Indiana game, are we talking about how bad the offensive line was?
We're not.
No, we're not.
Not in
the
that
second
game,
half. The second half of the Miami game, our O-line was good. You know what I'm saying? So those things happen. And those are the two teams that played for the national title, which I don't even like to say, by the way, because I put Ohio State in that category too. So I don't even like bringing that up. But either way, man, that goes back to the old argument of, hey, did Brian Hartline, the changes at offensive coordinator, help out the offensive line? The answer is no. Did a first-year starting quarterback who was going through something that affected his play big time, personally, help the offensive line? No, it didn't. So look at the 12 other games where the offensive line did really, really good. Look at the 12 other games where Austin Saraveld looked like the best left tackle in the entire country. At one point in time, was the only tackle in the country not to give up even a pressure or a sack. Okay, so personnel-wise, now Tegra Shabola was on that list for me. Dude's gone. And there are different personnel now. Ian Moore's in there. Gabe's in there. Josh is in there. So we've got some experienced guys at depth. And I'm riding with the NFL guy, Arthur Smith. I'm riding with Ryan Day. I'm riding with Tyler Bowen. That they didn't need to go in the portal because they got guys. They have guys that won us a national title on this offensive line. So, that's probably another pretty big thing that kind of, I think, goes against that argument. People that want to say we don't have the right guys. Well, Austin Saraville, Carson Hinsman, and Luke Montgomery won us a national title. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. And Philip Daniels was a transfer his first year. So these guys are going to be better than what they were. Agree. And they showed us 12 games of being good with a very inexperienced play caller that I don't think helped our cause whatsoever. Plus, silent count, these D-line, they were just teeing off on us. I felt so bad for the offensive line, dude. So bad. But, I mean, sometimes I think that's just where our brains naturally go, because of the way college football is now. It's so easy to – you go to the transfer portal and all that. It's not really easy, but that's just our brains just go to, oh, we looked bad. Let's go get new players. I mean, I got to stop myself there sometimes too. So, I don't agree with the comment whatsoever, but I think if you dig into it a little bit more, Mega, you might see that there's definite hope with these guys we got coming back.
Yeah. And here's his follow-up comment. Moore needs to be one of the tackles. Austin needs to be a guard. So, I mean, to me, I guess that's not quite what I thought when you said big personnel changes. I mean, I guess that is to me, that's not that big because we saw Ian Moore play left tackle against Miami when Saraville went out and he looked good. But like Dev said, Saraville was pretty darn good all year. And don't forget, a lot of teams, if not every team, struggle with that Miami defensive line and that Indiana front. Those are two very good fronts. Like, let's stop playing. Like, Bain and Messidor they're handfuls. Indiana struggled with them. Like, they gave up a bunch of pressures and sacks. And so if it wasn't for Mendoza's legs and, his experience, whatever. So, I mean, I get it. I just, the comment baffled me because I wasn't exactly sure. When you say big personnel changes, I'm like, how? But to me, you're just sliding, you're just swapping two guys. I'm like, okay, well, to me, that's not really a big personnel change. But maybe your emphasis, Mega, is saying you didn't like Saraville at left tackle. Honestly, that really wasn't a big issue. You go back and watch those two games, it was from guard. The guard was struggling. Tegra was struggling. And then Van Sickle struggled against Indiana when we thought he would, or against, hold on. Who did he struggle against? I think it was Indiana. But anyway, the point is the left tackle position wasn't really the big issue for me. So I don't know, whatever. It's all good. I'm thank you for the clarity on that. And then I was going to say something else about, oh yes, you mentioned how the O-line was good most of the year. Yeah, they were. They weren't perfect, but they were solid. And you know who they were really good against? The team up north in Ann Arbor, in the snow.
Yeah.
Right? The team up north's front seven is not, or their front four, I would say, is not Miami level, but not many were. They were still solid. They were good. They had a good front seven. They had a good defense. So this was not just some, walkover unit, and they dominated them. Okay. So again, Like, look at the full picture, full track record before we just throw guys out. Do they need to get better? Absolutely, they need to get better. They can't keep playing like that. They have to bounce back from that, learn from that, and go to another level. And I think they will. As we mentioned, another year of experience. You got guys emerging like Ian Moore. You got younger guys coming in like Sam Greer. I can't remember the lineman from Westerville, Jake. I can't remember his last name, but they love him too. And then of course you got the kid from Toledo, Lowe. We got some guys, man. And so I'm not worried about the O-line because I've seen too much college football. I've seen this team to know that they're good and they're going to be even better this season. Dev, anything on that before we transition?
Yeah, all the information I'm getting right now is I think there's 2 spots that are potentially locked down on offensive line already. And I know this does sound surprising to me too, but that's Austin Saravelt at left tackle and Carson Hinsman at center. So that's the intel I'm getting, is they're really liking Austin Saravelt at left tackle. And I do agree. I mean, the Texas game, we gave up 3 sacks in the Indiana game, and then the Miami game, the Texas game sacks. If you remember, we're not given up by Austin Saravelt. So I do like Austin Saravelt at the left tackle position. The Miami game, he got injured. He was playing with an injury, which is why he got taken out of the game, because that injury right. hindered him so much that he did get burned a couple of times, but they realized that and took him out the game. So I like Austin Saravelt at left tackle. I like the unit that we have here, at offensive line. But, I mean, hey, it's no secret that, this is a testing year for Coach Bo. And with this schedule that we have, we'll see. We'll see if these coaches made the right choice. I'm riding with them, and I think they did. But there is no doubt that this is a tester. And this is one of those years where they better be right. Because if we're going to struggle on the offensive line, it's going to be a long year, B. Moses. It's going to be a long year, bro.
Nah, for sure.
Season.
For sure. And we know that. And I just can't see it. This unit was not terrible last year. They ended the year against 2 very good units. That's not an excuse for them to not play well, but it's still something to consider. They didn't struggle against Purdue's defensive line. You know what I mean? They struggled against like first round picks. Like Bain and Messidor are Messidor. I haven't been looking at his, but I'll be shocked if he doesn't go, if he's still in the draft after round 2. Like Messidor is really good. Bain, even with his supposed short arms, he's going to get drafted in the first round. He's too good.
Yes.
So anyway, with that said, thank you, chat, for filling in the blanks. It was Jake Cook from Westerville. And then thank you, Jeremiah 2 Code. Van Sickle, I was wondering, I was like, hold on, I thought he was good against Indiana. You're right. So he was solid against Indiana. He struggled against Miami. That's right, because we were thinking, hey, he was good. There were all types of film being put out there on Twitter about how good he was against Indiana. And then we were expecting him to step up and be good against Miami. He struggled. I remember the first play, the first 3rd and long, he got absolutely just turned around and was just lost. Remember that first 3rd and 9 in that game. And Bain and Messidor came in and ran a stunt and just killed Sand. And we had a wide open Brandon Ennis down the field. And speaking of Brandon Ennis, I wanted to pull this up as we kind of move on and just completing some of the interviews. Brandon Ennis is a good interview. He's entertaining. I made this little clip of him today talking about Hankton and Arthur Smith. Hold on just a second.
A lot of energy every day. It's been great. Coach Hank, that's my dog. He was recruiting me in high school, so we always had a good relationship. Ever since he came in here, it's been a good relationship with all the guys in the room. He brings a lot of energy every day. And, Jermaine was just telling me before practice, he's like, damn, I love Coach Hank energy. I'm like, yeah, that's what type of coach he is. But he definitely gonna bring that energy every day, and that's what we need as a coach.
What are your first impressions of Arthur? Sorry. What are your first impressions of Arthur?
Oh, amazing coach, very smart. I didn't make that many jokes, honestly. I mean, he'd be in a meeting room and he'd be joking, but he's very serious, very smart, and I'm just looking forward to connecting with him more.
All right. So that was Brandon Ennis. And he also went on another part of the interview talking about how we heard this before, but he went a little in depth about how involved he was with the hiring process. Him, Jeremiah, and Carnell Tate, both, they were all like, yo, Hankton's the guy. And so I'm just bringing that up because so far so good on the recruiting trail for Hankton as far as what we're seeing and what's coming down the pike. But I know there was some people, Dev, that was, I remember one of my buddies, I'm not going to say his name, but he inboxed me and another guy in our group chat. Like, like, man, I don't know about this Hankton hire, man. I'm here and he can't develop. And then, does this mean we're not going to have an OC because of the 10 countable coaches? He was just kind of panicking. But it was just some on Twitter. There was this like narrative, Dev, that, Hankton can't develop receivers. But Brandon Ennis and Jeremiah Smith, Carnell Tate, Ryan Day, and others that he developed in the NFL disagree with that, Dev.
Yeah. So, I got pretty intrigued with the 7-on-7 scene. And in that scene, obviously receivers is a pretty big thing there. And I'll tell you, and the top receivers in the nation, they all play 7-on-7 anymore. Hankton's got a pretty good, I'm even a little confused by it. And I was not aware of this either, but Hankton's name gets brought up a lot, like in those circles of all the top wide receivers. So Hankton has done something to get the attention from the guys that actually matter to get the attention from. So it's really irrelevant if what us fans think. If all these top wide receivers are talking about Coach Hankton, and again, I don't know why either. The little research I did, but something in the industry, he's well known. I mean, he's well known, well respected. So great hire. B, I know I'm excited to get to the Luke thing too. You mind if I bring up this defensive thing as well, and one thing on Ennis before we dive into that? Because I'm excited to. You had that clip for what Luke said, right? Or Carson or somebody? I think it was Luke.
Well, I don't have the clip. I have the tweet. You want to?
Okay, I got you.
Now?
No. Okay. No, we'll hit that in a minute. I mean, Brandon Ennis, guys, when he talked, I just wanted to talk about the fact that this dude did not go on the Buckeye cruise because of how focused he is on this year. A lot of Brandon Ennis haters out there. The dude skipped going on the cruise because he wanted to be an Iron Buckeye. What was his reason for the new guys to show them how hard of a worker you need to be in this program? So that I just wanted to give a shout out to Brandon Ennis to show what type of individual he is. In today's college football, it's really hard to find players, right, that truly do care about the whole team in general like that. So obviously, dude's going to be a captain again. But Luke and Carson, man, both of these guys brought up something, right? I can't remember who, but I want to start off with, I know Luke brought up James Smith, and I got told that there was a little unheard comment in these interviews that some offensive linemen are, I'm going to do the air quote thing, scared of James Smith. So they didn't say scared, but you could tell. Go watch those interviews.
Yeah.
They were like, James Smith, you know what I'm saying? Like thinking people were asking about James Smith. It's like they were expecting people to ask them about James Smith. So the James Smith hype is real. It's the players are hyping that as well. But anyway, dude, Luke, and I got excited hearing Luke and Carson, both of them got visibly frustrated and talking about what Matt Patricia has been doing in these practices to them on defense. The odd, crazy fronts. I think Carson was like, he had a front the other day. We're like, why are you running this? This makes zero sense. Talking about all the different formations and all the different fronts that Matt Patricia is running against them in practice. Why do you think he's running those? Because we're about to see it this year, man. That's one of the nuggets that's been posted on the board before. And when you hear players talking about it actually happening in practice, right, that's like the biggest confirmation you can get. So I got excited. That might be out of all those interviews, that might be the one thing that got me the most excited for this upcoming season is hearing what Matt Patricia has been doing to our offensive line and confusing them. Because if he's confusing that veteran of an offensive line, number one, he's making them better. But number two, what do you think he's going to do to several of these other offensive lines we're going to come up against this year? So I got excited about that.
Yeah, no, for sure. He's going to get them ready. And then, of course, it's a two-edged sword. They'll be ready, sharp and seasoned. Nothing will surprise them. But then on the flip side, we're going to just be even more exotic with the fronts. And so it's just exciting on both ends for sure. So, yeah, and still a lot more spring ball to come, y'all. Still a lot more to glean information-wise, to see and all that. And these kids are going to continue to get better. And Ennis, yeah, shout out to Ennis, man. I know there are some, even in the chat, I'm not going to bring it up, but as far as on the screen, but I know people don't believe in Ennis. But am I saying, because look, this is what Ennis said. He said his goal is to be a first rounder. I know people will laugh at that. I know at this point, that's a tall task. He is going to have to ball out, but his work ethic and willingness to skip, a nice cruise and laying back so he can be Iron Buckeye, not just for the accolades, but like Dev said, to be a leader for the team. To me, that speaks volumes. Also, Funky brought up the information the other day that he had been dealing with some lingering injuries, sort of like Ibuka was before his last year. Not saying he's going to be equal to Ibuka, but the trajectory and expectation is for Ennis to really pop out a little more this year as a leader, healthier, and just on another level. So it's not like Ennis was chopped liver last year. Ennis had some plays. He made some nice plays. He was a leader out there. I mean, look at the catch against Wisconsin. I mean, he can do some things for you. Shoot, he played well against the team up north. He scored a touchdown against them. He's not a bum, right? I think he can get even better. He talked about how he wants to be more explosive, or he needs to be more explosive, more yak yards. Like he knows what the deal is. So again, knock Ennis all you want. I think he could be a good leader for this team and step up and be even better. But I can go ahead and bring up, unless you wanted to say something about that, I can bring up the tweet if you want about the team. Go ahead.
One thing. There was a large amount of people that wanted Emeka Buka to leave for the NFL so we could see these young wide receivers on the roster.
Right.
First round pick, Emeka Buka. A large amount of the Ohio State fan base said, man, I wish he would have went to the draft, right? So we can, because we got better receivers behind him. So
right.
I think I'm not saying Brandon Ennis is the same like you. I'm just saying, hey, man, I didn't expect that senior season from Emeka Buka. I'm just being honest. I did not expect that much. I didn't expect him to be that good. So I'm going to hold my tongue on Brandon Ennis. I think I wouldn't be surprised if he's better than what, even the positive people think he could be.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'm looking forward to it. Again, it starts with the stuff that it's the stuff that we're seeing with Ennis establishing leadership. It starts there. Just like we say, it starts in winter workouts and mat drills, for Petty John and Alfred, or, it starts there. So we'll see. Every kid has to prove it, but we will see. And I'm just not willing to bet against Brandon Ennis being an impact player. Does that mean he's going to be Jeremiah Smith? No, nobody is. But I think he could be really good for us. And so there's that. So, Dev, let's pull up this tweet or this comment from Luke Montgomery that was tweeted out here. And I was watching the interview and I chuckled. So basically it says Luke Montgomery on Michigan's recruitment of him. He said, thank goodness I didn't go there, just with what's been going on in the past few years. I hope some of them find the Lord and can come back and be with the people they love and stuff like that. Now, watching the interview, because I saw the quote, Dev, before I watched the interview, and he actually kind of got low-key serious when he starts saying it. I thought he was kind of like joking a little bit about basically they need the Lord. Like these fools need Jesus up here. They just been wilding. I mean, from top to bottom, it's just been scandal after scandal after scandal. But he actually turned kind of serious when he said that. He said, hey, I wish them all the best. So the tone wasn't as jokey as I thought it was when I read the quote. It was actually more kind of serious, but he started off saying he's glad he didn't go there. Like, hey, but then it got kind of serious. But I thought that was interesting when he made that comment, Dev.
Yeah, that had me cracking up. I love that he said it. It just goes to show you, you know what I mean, that people are paying attention. You know what I'm saying? But I love that. He said it in a way where it's like it wasn't too jabby, but it was definitely jabby. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's the truth, B. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing about it. Like, I'm sure their fans are going to listen to that interview and say, oh, what a crybaby. What of this? What of this? It's like, what did he say that wasn't true? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you talking? Look at everything that's gone in that program. Why would you want to be a recruit there? It dumbfounds me that any recruit signed there. Every recruit that signed there in my mind, I'm just like, bruh, dude, what are we doing? I know that they have to pay. I know. Listen, I know how they got Savion Hyder there and the demands that they met for Savion Hyder. You guys wouldn't believe me if I told you. You wouldn't believe me. Savion Hyder said, I want this, 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 and this. And it is an absurd list. It's absurd. It's stupid. B knows it. I've said it before. I just don't feel like saying the list again right now, but that's what they have to do to get people there, bro. So,
but
yeah.
Yeah, when you're, I mean, it's, man, Team-Up North, I tell you, this is a good segue to celebrate, before we get into Super Chats, celebrate a ceremony today of receiving gold pants. All right, here is Ryan Day.
Today's a great day. Today is a great day. The reason why today's a great day is because today we're going to get some gold pants. Since 1934, they've been giving out gold pants when you beat the team up north.
And Coach, on behalf of the Gold Pants Committee,
yes, sir!
I got me a pair. I got me a pair.
That's the case at go. You say gold pants,
Gold pants.
gold pants.
Appreciate the BIA.
You feel me?
And Silver Bullet getting OG his first pair of gold pants.
Dude in that game. Absolute dude in that game.
Read that.
Let's see if the camera can read that. You gotta get a good
All right, from the Ohio State account.
Bro,
that was dope.
Who handed Coach Day that? I feel like that's an old a Buckeye player who's been on this channel. Dude, he looks so familiar. Who was that? I need to find out who that was. Can you send me that? Can you send me that clip, man?
Yeah. I can also. You want me to just tag you on Twitter?
Yeah.
I'll just tag you now because I'm looking and he doesn't look familiar to me, but he may be somebody. But yeah. So I thought that was dope. I mean, look, we know the story. Michigan fans get tried. Oh, your first goal. No, you're cheaters. Okay. You've cheated for the past few years. And so, yeah, the ceremony of receiving gold pants has been kind of hindered by that. Obviously, 2024, we blew it. That was on us. But before that, the 3 years before that, no, sir. So I don't want to hear that. But listen, I want to bring this up because people try to make it seem like we didn't care about beating the team up north. We never said that. We've only maintained, and I still will 10 toes down, double, triple, quadruple down, that nothing is more important than national titles. National titles, top of the list. Okay. And then out of the 3 goals that Ryan Day likes to talk about, national championship, beating the team up north, and Big Ten titles. To me, it's in that order of importance. Because winning Big Ten titles now is even more like, I mean, that's cool. We want to win everything we play for, but I mean, come on. Like nobody's really, it's just not the same. This is not the 80s. This is not your grandpa's college football. So we appreciate the Big Ten titles, but give me the win over the team up north any day over a Big Ten title, and then give me a national title trophy and a ring over beating the team up north any day. Does that mean we don't care about beating them? Of course not. That is up there on the top of our list. Win that natty and beat the team up north. If I had to choose, I'm winning a natty every time, because that's the ultimate goal of the sport. And obviously, you know what comes with that. And I've seen a lot of wins over the team up north in my entire lifetime, a lot. And so, you know, it's dope to see them get the gold pants back and all that, Dev. So, and I'm gonna pull something else on the screen, but go ahead, brother.
Yeah, I mean, that's like saying, I mean, here's my list in my life: Jesus, family, right? Jesus is number one, family's number two. That's like trying to tell me, well, that means you don't care about your family. It's like, man, what are we doing here? I know it's very an extreme example, but yeah, no, I have the same list. National title is first, then beating the team up north. I don't even know the Big Ten title's on my list anymore. You know, but it's on there somewhere.
It's just not. Again, we give me a Big Ten title. Like I want to win. If we're playing for it, I want to win. But it's just like I'm not starting the season, Dev. Like man, this season's really gonna suck if we don't win the Big Ten title. It's just like beat the team up north and then go win a natty. And that's it. That's it. If we do those two things, because to me, okay, beating Tennessee, Oregon, Texas, and then Notre Dame back to back by double digits, to me, is way more impressive than saying, okay, you beat a conference foe in the Big Ten title game. Now, do you want to do all of that? Sure. But come on, man, you can't negate what that 2024 team did on that run because they didn't win a Big Ten title. But some people will try to do that, you know.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you this. I mean, this is an obvious statement, but I mean, you know, the first, second, third round games in the playoffs are way more important to me than a Big Ten title game. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
right,
bro. Let me just say this. I mean, do you even remember who won the Big Ten title 2 years ago? I mean, it was Oregon. Who cares? You know what I'm saying? Like, just put it in perspective. Like, they don't even. I noticed they're pretty vocal too. They don't even really use that as bragging anymore. They don't even say it that much anymore because it's like it means that, you know, that less.
Yeah, and they were very happy about it.
Oh yeah,
they were. I told y'all, and we're gonna get the super chats in a second, but I told y'all after we lost to them, when was it? I think it was. Yeah, it was after the Big Ten title. They won the Big Ten title game, and the playoffs were being announced and stuff like that. And Oregon fans, I was on a Twitter Spaces with some Ohio State, you know, podcast people and Oregon people, and they were just talking extra crazy. They were so happy they won a Big Ten title, but after we smashed them and actually won a natty, which they've never won, they have 0 natties. They've been quiet about that Big Ten title because that natty and that blowout win in the Rose Bowl is the ultimate trump card over that. So congrats, Oregon. But you still got 0 natties, buddy. So we can get the super chats unless you got something on that, Dev.
Nah. I mean, same thing I've been saying, dude. Yeah, it ain't much.
Yep. No, I got you. All right, Stilly Matt, thanks for the 199. Welcome, Coach Doppler Axe and Sleepy Dev. Yeah, nah, man. I gotta go axe throwing again. That was fun. And I was just like, you went yesterday or Sunday, you told me that you just grew up on a farm throwing axes like it was nothing. Like, dang. Like, all right,
I know.
Like, you know, that's dope. Like,
it just is. And also to let you know what I mean, in those, I call that hatchet throwing. Axe throwing is a pretty long handle and a pretty heavy head. Like it's hard to throw. Those little things they call axe throwings. Those are called hatchets. Like a smaller, they split your, tinder up for your fire, just a little, I had one in my hunting bag to clear a little bit of brush, stuff like that. So, but it's fun, man. But yeah, I mean, I was always being, throwing machetes, and I was reckless without a cause.
just randomly. Oh yeah, when I was growing up, we did machete throwing every Tuesday at 10:30. like what? No, that's funny though. All right, Stilly Matt, thanks for the 199. Stars Align in the house from Korea. What's up, Stars Align? How long did you say you're gonna be there for like a month, right? I think you said that. It seems like if you're gonna go to Korea, you might as well just stay for at least a month. Because that flight, you said 16 hours is crazy. And Dev, you never been over towards anywhere that far, right? Me either.
No, I'm jealous. I'm trying to go, guys. I used to be the biggest homebody ever. I grew up on a farm. Dude, I never wanted to leave. Like, I went to a hunting camp like 3 hours away and cried when I was there in like the 7th grade because I didn't want to leave home. Now it's the opposite, dude. So when I hear people traveling, I'm jealous, man. I could leave now and travel the world and never come back to Florida and die extremely happy.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I like the idea of traveling, but not the rigors of it. If I could just snap my fingers and travel and be somewhere, then that would be great. But boy, oh boy,
I don't have a wife and kids. You know what I'm saying?
Right, so, right. Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
way different.
Yeah, you're free to just you globe trot if you wanted to without any, anything to really worry about. So I got you on that. Clueless, thanks for being a Scoop Ultra member for 15 months. Appreciate you. I feel as though we have 8 starting caliber O linemen and 13 starting caliber players on the front 7 of the defense. This team might be the deepest Buckeye team I've ever seen. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. On defense, you said 13 starting caliber players on the front 7. I still want to see. Listen, I'm excited about the talent in the linebacker room, but me personally, I don't want to count that depth yet until I kind of see it. We just lost 2 monsters. Like, I believe they can, but I'm not, personally, not quite willing to go that far yet. But the potential of the depth is definitely there. I mean, we got some guys. We just need to see it materialize for some of them that we haven't seen. Dev, what you got on that?
Yeah, I mean, I see. I agree. I don't know that I stretch all the way to 13, but it's darn close, P. Moses. If I named him for you right now, you'd probably be like, yeah, that 13th one for me is TJ Alford. That 13th one is he in that yet? But I mean, linebackers, Riley Pettyjohn, Peyton Pierce, Christian Alliegro, I think we can all say, hey, those 3 confident there. And then, the defensive ends with Bo Atkinson and Quay Rasal coming in and Epi and Zion Grady. And we do, man. I think about that. I'm waiting for the moment where, like, I get let down or I get corrected and maybe we're not that deep, because I tend to lean towards thinking we're a little deeper than we actually are all the time. So I'm waiting to see if that moment happens. But as of right now, I would agree that we're pretty deep. So
I'm high on Alford too. But that's one of the ones I said, because I think he's Jerome Baker. I think he could be another Jerome Baker who was a stud. But I want to see it though. It's just like I need to see it. I need him to. Well, he doesn't need to prove me anything, but I want to see it on the field to really kind of justify. But I'm high on Alfred. I think he's going to be really, really good for sure. Gio did. Thanks for the 5. I watched the Arthur Smith interview up. Tink sighting.
They put it in the chat. They wanted to see it.
Oh, they did? Okay. See, every time you pull up, I'm a dog war. Nah, but he's way upstairs. My dog is way upstairs. I watched the Arthur Smith interview. Some of our so-called beat writers asked the most insipid questions. So glad Scoop hosts actually know football. Yeah, I think every now and then, you get like a Doug Maurice who asks some good questions. But yeah, they could have, the first time getting Arthur Smith, I was a little underwhelmed with some of the questions. But then again, even with some that were decent questions, I don't know if he would have answered that well anyway, because he just seems used to that NFL media not really giving you much. So we'll see. We'll see as we talk to him more and more if he shows his hand more. But not much from Arthur Smith today. But it was good to hear him finally and him address the media, Devin.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know all the Buckeye beat personally, so I'm not attacking anybody personally. But yeah, I mean, there's a couple of them. It's like, one for sure. It's like, dang man, it sounds like you've been there too long because he's asking questions that like, ain't nobody care about that. I mean, and
Right.
he's just saying weird things in the middle of questions, interrupting questions, saying everybody knows who I'm talking about. Like, I like him. I'm not trying to be mean to him. It's just like, come on,
Yeah.
bro. Nobody cares about that question or that information. Like, you're the only one that does because you've been around for so long. Like, you're getting bored and you're just asking random questions.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
listen, some of it can be entertaining and funny, gives me chuckles, but
yeah.
I guess I've been waiting for the Arthur Smith interview out of intrigue. Again, we're the press conference boys, so we care a little more than some people, and we understand we deal with a lot of coach speak, but sometimes you'll get nuggets. Sometimes you'll get some stuff, and I just wish they would have asked some better questions. So I agree. I agree with that. Gio did thanks for the 5. Making negative premature judgments about our offensive line at this early juncture is irresponsible. Let Arthur Smith coach and implement his scheme. Yeah. So I definitely, again, I know there's like a spectrum. Coming off of the last 2 games, they did not play their best. So now, fast forward, winter, spring, fall, new coaching staff. There's a wait and see element. Like, to me, yes, we're going to wait and see. But when you're analyzing it, Dev, and kind of thinking through what expectations could or should be, I definitely don't think it's out of the question to believe this offensive line can be really good. And we've already given you the points. If you just get myopic and just forget everything else and just look at the performance against 2 first-round picks that they did not do well in, then sure, you might walk away thinking, hey, this O-line is trash, and unless something major happens and shifts around, they're going to be trash again. I mean, that's kind of going to be your conclusion. But if you look at the full track record, everything, the experience coming back, scheme improving, Arthur Smith coming in, who's an O-line guy, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, I think it's very fair to come to the conclusion that this O-line can be really solid, really good this year for this team. And so that's just where I land. It's not sunshine pumping. It's not wishful thinking. It's a logical outcome based off of factual things. And so, Dev, what you got?
Yeah, man. I mean, the snap count, it doesn't take a 5-star offensive tackle to have a different snap count, right? It doesn't take a 5-star tackle, right, to know that the first half of the Miami game was way worse than the second half. So obviously, scheme had something to do with that. The first half, the scheme, the plan was not working at all. The second half, we looked way better, bro. We rushed it for over 5 yards a carry in the second half. Okay, and I'm not sure we gave up a sack the second half. Probably did. That I don't quite remember that much, but there are things, and same for the Indiana game. There are things that, really, there's a lot more that goes into the offensive line than just the Jimmies and Joes. You know what I'm saying? The scheme, the quarterback, how much time are the receivers running the right route? Did they run did the tight ends block the right person? Are there the right assignments? Like, a lot goes into it, man. And to be honest with you, you can't watch a game as a fan and come to that conclusion without going and watching the all 22 film and breaking it down with somebody that knows what they're talking about. It's really hard to make a really stern judgment on anything offensive or defensive line related unless you have the experience and the time to go in and break down what happened, man. That's why people complain about PFF because, hey, how do you even know what the assignment is? How are you going to judge the offensive line when you don't even know what the blocking assignment is? So, but I understand the other side too, that you can see some obvious things, but I mean, to each their own. We're going to find out. But yeah, bringing Arthur Smith in, I would say is a plus for the offensive line because I'm still arguing that Brian Hartline was a huge factor that the offensive line struggled a little bit more. He just didn't have the experience, and that's nothing against him. He just didn't have that experience to understand, what's needed in certain situations. If a player's overpowering another guy, like there's so many things go into it, dude. I hardly know anything, and it gets overwhelming to start thinking in my mind of everything that goes into it. And
Yeah,
I
it's a
don't even know
lot.
everything. So
Not listen, I feel and real quick, just to kind of respond to that, people hate that though, Dev. I say what you just said, I've said it in different ways over the years.
yeah,
Watching film, like considering, like there's people who have such strong opinions, but they never go back and watch, even if you don't have the all 22. All 22 is best because it gives you the different angles. But even if you don't have access to all 22, just rewatching the game without your goofy emotions to actually look at a play, stop it, slow it down. Oh, maybe they didn't whiff, or oh, maybe whatever. This is like when you're not privy to the details of assignments and okay, what is this play? What's the purpose of this play? Oh, he was supposed to pull and he didn't. Stuff like that. Even listen, everybody doesn't have the luxury of talking to coaches. I told you I talked to a coach on the offensive staff the other day who revealed to me a play that has been debated. He revealed to me assignments and also something that went wrong on the play from the very beginning that caused everything to unravel. But the public doesn't know that. You know what I'm saying? So it's there's so much that goes into it. We're not saying you can't have an opinion. We're just saying, to me, in my opinion, like I don't just be saying strong stuff unless I done some research or I've looked into it or considered it or at least like educated myself before I just speak so strongly. But you got so many people with Twitter fingers who make such declarative statements, and it's just like you don't know what you're talking about. And so, I mean, which lends to this next comment. Perfect segue to Gio did. Thanks for the two. Some of us really don't know football. It's not Xbox. Yeah. I mean, listen, and I'm not trying to act like I'm John Gruden. Like I just, but I know ball. I mean, I know the game, but I'm still a student of the game, still learning. I mean, there's so much to learn. And then with every scheme, there's so many things that go on, variations and stuff like that. And even if you do know that stuff, it's still not always easy to determine assignments when it comes to a specific scheme that a coach has his player, trying to execute. So we're saying that all to say is that we're not saying you can't have an opinion. To me, I just feel like there needs to be more humility from some of these people who just be running their mouth and making big statements. That's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is like pump the brakes on all that big talk when you really haven't considered a lot of these things. That's it. Hope that makes sense.
Yeah.
Anything on that, Dad, before we move on?
No, I mean, just like to reiterate it all. I mean, just because, again, I'm very, if I don't know something, I know it. I'm very vocal on my channel here about wanting to get smarter. That's why I have VP coach on. That's why I have certain guests I have on. I want to get smarter about the game because, I remember a game this year where Philip Daniels got absolutely roasted, right? And the truth is that Tegra had the wrong assignment. So Philip Daniels tried to cover two guys, which made him look bad. That was the actual truth. But in the public's eyes, nah, Philip Daniels had a really, really bad game. But again, the truth is that Tegra Shabola missed his assignment multiple times in that game. And there's several examples of that. But when you have 11 dudes all doing something different and it all has to be timed perfectly, it's too many variables to understand and see while you're watching the game. Too many. It's too many. Even Ryan Day will tell you that. He's not gonna.
Especially while you're like watching real time with your emotion as a fan. Oh, bro, like that's why we rewatch all the games, Def. You have I mean, if you really want to understand, you have to.
Yeah. How many times have you heard Ryan Day or another high state coach say, "Well, I haven't watched the film yet."
Right.
Well, I haven't watched the film yet. So I mean,
right.
That's just the truth. Now I get the emotional feel of wanting to say, gosh darn, it was this person's fault. I'm all the way there. You guys have done live watches with me. I'm a psychopath. You know what I'm saying? But I let those emotions go. But then I quickly, let them go and go watch the film and then learn the truth.
Yep, for sure. Nah, I haven't watched the film yet. It's not just coach speak. I mean, to me, it's irresponsible unless it's a situation where a guy just drops a wide open pass and we lose the game.
Yeah.
I mean, that's cut and dry. But other stuff in the trenches or just like, within the scheme and whose assignment was who, it's very hard to determine that real time. Anyway, y'all get the point. Hopefully y'all do. All right. Clueless, thanks for the 2. Michigan should be on a FBI watch list. Yeah. And remember, they're still within an active investigation, which I believe Intrinsic tweeted it's beyond $4 million they've spent plus some, and it's being extended, I believe, or something like that. Like these clowns, man, they got the nerve to try to talk about Ohio State, and it's ridiculous. So anything on that, Dev?
Should be. They are. I mean, there have been multiple terrorists taken out of that program in the last couple of years. What are you talking? They are on the list. Clueless. Breaking news. Michigan is 100% on an FBI watch list. 100%. Dude, they're having
Matt Weiss. I mean, it's just
scientists, terrorists. Yeah. Biggest, breach of privacy forever in a long time. It's like, bro, they are. I promise you the FBI knows the Michigan program.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. But again, if this was Ohio State, I mean, we would be Good Morning America. I mean, we would be all over the place. I mean, this stuff's been reported somewhat. The Sherron Moore stuff got some legs, but it's just people are just like, oh, well, man, oh man. All right. Stilly Matt, thanks for the 199. Massive scoop, massively Sunshine Bumpers. For those that don't know, he's trolling the people who just come here and cry about, oh, you're saying massive again. Yeah, we're saying massive again because we want to call it massive, and you hate it, and so we're going to say it because you want to cry about it, and we enjoy your tears. Do you have anything on that?
No, other than somebody told me that Michigan's struggling in spring so far. The transition's not going too smooth. It's not about that, but I just wanted to add that from the last thing we were talking about. But yeah, Sunshine Puppers, whatever.
I don't believe that. Whittingham is a young spring chicken. He's in the prime of his career. They got them one, Dev. 10 years at Michigan, 3 natties, baby. That's what
Can you imagine Utah to that? Can you? I mean, that's
culture shock is crazy. I'm sure he didn't. Hot boxing at Utah would probably be the biggest scandal in their entire university's history, but it's just a Tuesday up north. So, it is what it is, man. All right, let me see what we got. Donald Seals, thanks for the 5. Ohio State wins the Natty next year. OH question, Dev.
We're definitely. Oh, my bad, B.
No, I was just gonna say I don't know. I don't know yet. I think we'll make the playoffs. We'll be in the playoffs. We'll beat the team up north. I need more information before I declare that, but we should be right there, Dev.
Yeah, awful early to tell, but from everything we're hearing now, we're going to have the talent and the coaching staff to do so. We 100% have the coaching staff to do so. We'll see. We've already, I don't know how many times we have to say, and for those of you that watch all the time and have been Ohio State fans for a long time, there's a little bit of the ball has to bounce your way aspect to a national title. It's difficult to win a national title. I mean, the Texas game, the ball bounced right back to Jack Sawyer. The Miami game, it bounced right back to Miami 3 times. I'm talking literally right back to them, and they kept running like everything was normal. So,
yeah. I got you, brother. Let me see. Clueless, thanks for the 2. B Moses, please make a meme. What meme would you like me to make, sir? Tell me. Because we've been rapid fire saying stuff. What meme would you like me to make? Because I likes to makes me a meme. So let me know in the chat quickly before we wrap up, which will be soon. We got Geodit, thanks for the 2. I'll be in Cleveland next month. Yeah, I don't know what's going on in Cleveland, family, but yeah, that's about a couple hours from me up north. I'm in Columbus, but good to be in Ohio always. Stilly Matt, thanks for the 199. Whittingham is going to find out. Big mistake. Yeah. Yeah. It's going to be very interesting. Going to be very interesting. I want to see how Underwood and his antics, how they handle all of that throughout the season. It's a complete it's a complete different. This is Utah is much different than what they're coming into. And it doesn't seem like there's any signs of the mess dissipating, even though they got rid of some of the characters finally. But I don't know if that culture is going anywhere anytime soon, Dev.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm still lightweight surprised that he chose to go there. I mean, you said Kyle Whittingham. He was on a lot of people's top 10 coaches list from what the consistency he's been able to have at Utah, some of the things he's been able to do. But I just think it's a difficult situation to walk into. And I think the odds are not in his favor of helping his reputation as a football coach. I think, unfortunately, it has the opportunity to hinder his reputation as a football coach. He should have just gone up out of there, dude. But I'm not. I probably would have taken the money too. But anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We'll see if he regrets it. He could have went out. He could have went out on like, you know what? I was really, really good at Utah. Their best coach in their history, even though they didn't want him back, per the report we mentioned yesterday. Like they didn't want him back. And so that's who Michigan has taken. Older guy at the end of his career. Is there a possibility he could be great? Maybe, but I just don't see him as a long-term solution. So that's it. That's that. Not much
It's
more.
the people above him. People above him don't make good decisions. There's nothing he can do about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's true. I mean, you're coming into a organization, administration who have made terrible decisions in the midst of another investigation. Your AD is basically waiting to be canned after this investigation. It's just, we'll see, but leave it to Michigan fans. Underwood finally has a QB coach and Whittingham has got it rolling and playoffs, baby. Okay. We'll see with that schedule. And you got to come here. All right. Sounds good. But anyway, any last thoughts before we bang out of here, Dev?
No, man. Good show. Had a good time. We'll keep updating you guys on these practice updates. This Saturday's being told it's going to be a pretty intense, big practice. Should be getting a lot of stuff out of that one. So it's going to be exciting to see these guys continue to etch their roles. And we'll see if this team is really as deep as what I'm thinking they are. That's what I'm excited to see. Brought in a lot of experience, got a lot of great young talent. It's looking like we're going to be super deep at several positions. So we'll see, man. I'm excited.
Me as well. And real quick, I saw the other day, Roll Tide, you were asking for us to root for your boys against the team up north. You absolutely have my support. Go Tide. Bama plays the team up north in basketball. I don't know if it's Thursday or Friday, or they play them next round. And so we got you, brother. You rock heavy with us. And it's automatically anybody who plays the team up north, we gonna rock with. So we got you, brother. But that's all I got. Great show, fun show. And so it's always a pleasure. Chat always popping per usual. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Until next time, go Bucks, Buckeye Scoop family. Peace.